Would you like to try this sentence? Number one, he made a number of accusations.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Here is another issue with the communication. Sometimes the pronunciations of the words, two words are very similar. Accusations, acquisitions. The meaning of the two words is completely different. Gaps on the communication. You talked about the difference between T and D.
Yeah.
These are two different letters. They appear in two different places in the alphabet. So it is your focus and your practice which ensures that at all times the difference between the T and the D is always pronounced and heard.
Yeah.
In the first sentence.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Now, while you are reading this sentence, are you kind of holding on to your breath while you are reading it? That is another mistake which is commonly made. Each and every one of us can try to do it. You take a deep breath, try to hold on to your breath and also speak at the same time. Try to do it. It's not possible. The very process of speaking is exhaling. It's removing your breath. So he made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion. Let the breath come out freely.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Okay. Another area of improvement, pronunciation of the S. In English, singular and plural, the pronunciation, the words have to be one accusation, many accusations. So you always have to pronounce the S in plural. Yes?
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Yeah, meritorious. Meritorious.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Yes, Joshi.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Now here is the importance of stretching the jaws. Accusations. Try it out with a deep breath.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Now any word which you find difficult to pronounce, the key technique is take a deep breath and speak that word 3 times. Accusations, accusations, accusations. Try it out, Sanjay, with a deep breath.
Accusations.
It's not accusations, it's accusations.
Accusations.
Good.
Now that you have got the pronunciation, take a deep breath and speak the entire sentence with the word in it.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
That was slightly better.
Better.
What you need to do is you also, along with the other things, need to practice words which begin with the letter Z. Zinc, zinc, zinc.
Zinc.
Zebra, zebra, zebra.
Zebra.
There was one participant, one student of mine, when I told him zebra, he would say zebra, zebra. Just force of habit. But anything can be developed because this is the capacity of our speech organs. Try it out.
He made a number of accusations concerning his impecunious but meritorious companion.
Okay. We'll move on to the second one. There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively with a deep breath.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Once more with a deep breath.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Neeraj.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Again, the requirement of pronouncing each and every syllable. Irregularity. That's 6 syllables. Shortcutting the pronunciation.
Shortcutting.
This is what shortcutting the
Both
pronunciation
languages.
is.
Once again, slow.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
I'll tell you what. You mark out this sentence and pronounce 2 words 3 times with a deep breath. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity.
Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity.
See, if the chin is like this.
Yeah.
Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. On the other hand, if your shoulders are relaxed, okay, the back is straight, the chin is up, you take a deep breath, fill it with air. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. Try it out.
Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity. Singular irregularity.
Maybe slightly better.
Yeah.
Getting better. Yeah. So you also need to go slow. Yeah. Good. This is very good. Thank you very much. Let's.
आप पढ़िए sentence second. Second, number 2.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Correct. See, the consciousness of pronouncing each and every syllable of each and every word will come about through these kind of practice exercises. And you will find that you will have to speak lesser words. By talking less, you will be able to achieve a greater objective. Sometimes we are going on and on talking, trying to convince the client, using too many words. But still the client is not able to appreciate the point which you are trying to make. But the best way to do it is use fewer words, but speak the words more effectively. Hilda.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Once again, singular irregularity 3 times with a deep breath.
Singular irregularity.
Irregularity.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Mr. Joshi.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Sanjay.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
Kiran.
There is a singular irregularity in using this word attributively.
संजय भी घाई कर रहे हैं ना?
और संजय ने मुझे लगता है ब्रेक नहीं लिया.
ब्रेक नहीं लिया था? ये था?
थोड़ा लेगा.
थोड़ा लिया था?
हाँ. थोड़ा ज़्यादा breath लिया जाएगा. The entire process, it's an entire process. See, we conduct, among other things, we also conduct this program in the form of training. When we deliver the training at our learning center, the program is typically for 15 sessions. The weekend sessions, which takes place on Saturdays and Sundays, each session is about 2 hours. Now, if 15 into 2 gives about 30 hours of training. But then when this process is spread over about 2 months or a little longer, the person gets so habituated to doing these voice and speech exercises and putting these things into practice that they become a part of his personality. Now this is the focus of our training program. What we are offering here is, it's not meant to be just practiced here, that we are together here today and then forgotten tomorrow or day after. But this is something which requires only 5, 10 or maximum 15 minutes of investment of your valuable time. It will give incremental benefits. Sure. The third one is, though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality. With a deep breath.
Though
contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Once more with a deep breath.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
The difficult words here are contentious, obsequious, emphasized, and superficiality.
Superficiality.
Let's start with Kiran this time. With a deep breath.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Very good. That was very clear. Sanjay.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Now, did you notice you started without a breath and then in the middle
He took.
you took like this. This again is something which is very common in our voice and speech. It particularly happens in presentations where we are doing most of the talking, the audience is doing the listening. Now, if something like this happens to you, it affects your voice, your speech, whether you realize it or not. It affects the flow of the sentences. Over a period of time, it also affects the tonal quality of the voice. Now, the way to prevent it is very simple. Do it once again, take a deep breath, and now you will be able to do it in one breath.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Take a really deep breath.
And go slow.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Mr. Joshi.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
The main benefit is that these kind of words, you may not even have heard them, don't require them, never going to use them. But when pronouncing these words becomes simple, anything in the English language comes to you quite easily and naturally. After all, you are required to speak in English, deliver presentations in the English language at all times, except maybe when you are in Japan. That could be different. Otherwise, it's English all the way.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Contentious.
Contentious.
Hit up.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
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 Once again.
Okay. The contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by
Now here is another thing that happens if we are reading out something. Let's say we are reading out a speech. Sometimes if we are maybe a little nervous or whatever, word substitution takes place. In this case, the sentence begins with the word though, and it was pronounced as the.
Slow.
आप कीजिए with a deep breath.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Yes, Neeraj.
Though contentious and
Yeah, this is again something that happens when we start speaking a sentence very quickly. So the message here is that anytime you are starting a presentation, never start a presentation in a hurry. If you have been allocated 15 to 20 minutes to deliver your presentation, make sure that the presentation consumes at least 13-14 minutes or maybe goes beyond by 1 or 2 minutes. But it should be over and done in 5 to 10 minutes.
Though contentious and obsequious, his innocence was emphasized by his superficiality.
Page 14. Energetic precautionary measures of unusual severity will be operated by general practitioners. With a deep breath. And while we are practicing this, now to make things even more difficult for ourselves, we will read this sentence very slowly and clearly.
Very slow.
Take a deep breath. Energetic precautionary measures of unusual severity will be operated by general practitioners. Once again in the same manner with a deep breath. Energetic precautionary measures of unusual severity will be operated by general practitioners. Now we can start. Yes.
Energetic precautionary measures of unusual severity will be operated by general practitioners.
Now here is another area of improvement. Among all the pronunciations, I have only found one sound which cannot be represented by the Hindi alphabet. Our Hindi alphabet, which is based on Sanskrit, is very wide, it's very rich, it can produce almost any kind of sounds which your speech organ is capable of. Possibly except one. That sound is J. The J sound.
Yeah.
There are 3-4 words which I want to suggest to you. Treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure. Sometimes people say treasure, pleasure, or they say treasure, pleasure. See, this is not a j. It is not j. हिंदी का j नहीं है, झ नहीं है, z भी नहीं है. It's j.
जा भी नहीं है, झा भी नहीं है,
और ज भी नहीं. जो ज के नीचे जो बिंदी आती है, that is pronounced as z. वो उर्दू का z होता है, because in Hindi also you don't have words with z, but Urdu you do.
Measure.
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 Yeah, measure.
Measure.
Kiran, why don't you practice treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure?
Treasure, pleasure, measure,
Leisure.
leisure.
Correct. That is the right pronunciation. Consider the adjective unusual.
it is not yet.
Unusual.
Unusual.
Unusual नहीं. Unusual.
Unusual.
आप कीजिए सर. Treasure, pleasure, measure, leisure.
Treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure. कौन सा है?
Treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure.
Now you can pronounce it.
Treasure, pleasure, measure, leisure.
Slightly better. Treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure.
Treasure, pleasure, leisure, measure.
Yeah. The word pleasure, it's used very commonly even in communication. It was a pleasure to meet you, or when you are talking, it was pleasure meeting you.
Actually, the words, how we speak, it is depending upon the particular individual person, how he speaks. But
You're
if the
correct.
sound is different, if the sound दबा हुआ है, treasure, इसका थोड़ा सिर्फ treasure, वो सीधे से बोल देता है.
See, it depends on your breath, no doubt, but it also depends upon your accent. Accent it depends upon the local influences. The way we are speaking, the way we hear English spoken by people around us. Now, when we talk about North Indian accent, South Indian accent, it's very difficult to define unless the only thing is you hear a group of people, a set of people from a particular region speak in a particular manner, you say that this is a South Indian accent. The funny thing is that we people here in India, we are very conscious about our accent. But I mean, you are from Japan, I'm sure you'll be able to vouch for it. Someone who is from Japan, a Japanese or Korean, or that matter even from Europe, French person or Chinese person, they will speak in their own accent. They will not be very self-conscious about it. लेकिन हम लोगों को ज्यादा ही लगता है कि मेरी इंग्लिश ठीक नहीं है और we tend to be very self-conscious about it. Now we also conduct spoken English classes at our learning center. The first thing we tell our participants is remove any kind of inhibitions you have about your English speaking. Neutralizing the accent is also very important from one point of view. Is the accent, your pronunciation, is basically the presentation of the language. Now what I mean by that, if you are going to a party, an event, you are giving a gift to someone, you wrap it up in colorful paper and all that. Whatever is inside is not seen immediately, but what is seen outside is the wrapping paper. Your pronunciation is similar to that. It is the outer covering of your language. If it is in a neutral accent, if there is articulation, so immediately you are able to create a positive impression about your communication.
I have a question. You mentioned online dictionaries which teach us pronunciation.
That's
also. Are such dictionaries available offline, in the sense, can I bring it and keep it in my office and anybody who wants to see it can get it?
I'm sure there must be some CDs where these are available. I mean, there may be some Oxford or Webster dictionaries which also carry the CDs.
Okay.
The important thing is that in these pronunciation dictionaries, many a times they follow either the American accent or the British accent, which is not bad if you would like to pronounce the words that way. And I'll give you one example of a word, tomato. We had seen this already. Let's eat a lot of tomatoes today. It was there in our sentence. The way we pronounce this word here in India, it's tomato. The British pronunciation is tomato, and the American pronunciation is tomato. So it's one word, three pronunciations. Now you choose your pronunciation. But if you decide that I want to develop an American accent or a US British accent, the best way to do it will only be to stay in that country.
Very expensive. I'll buy a dictionary.
Better thing is that we can help ourselves.
And we speak tomato.
अगर आप हिंदी में टमाटर क्लियरली प्रोनाउंस करेंगे, I can assure you will be able to pronounce tomato clearly in English.
No problem. Right.
We have seen this, that if you are not pronouncing the words clearly in your own language, and it is that habit that is spilling over to English. Articulation is equally true in all the languages. Now the next one is the professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism with a deep breath.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
This word skepticism, sometimes I've heard people say skepticism. It's skepticism. Kiran, read the sentence.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
Not bad. See, now what you are doing is you are focusing on each and every pronunciation.
Right.
But there's a dual benefit. Not only are you pronouncing the words clearly and correctly, you are also speaking a little more slowly.
Yes,
Which is what you should try out, Sanjay. Copy the way Kiran has read out this sentence.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
Once again, with a deep breath, read a little slower.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
In our English speaking class, when we want to help people develop fluency, we suggest to them that do fast, loud reading. But in your case, Sanjay, I'll suggest to you do the opposite.
For you, slow.
Mr. Joshi.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
The professor of biological medicine self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism. Yes.
What I would suggest to you is that you practice the technique which we had discussed earlier. Take the English dictionary, the first alphabet A. Pick up words which begin with AC and AD. Make a list of 15-20 such words. Take a deep breath and speak each word 3 times. We can all practice it. Act. Act. Act.
Act, act, act.
Actual, actual, actual.
Actual, actual, actual.
Advantage, advantage, advantage.
Advantage, advantage, advantage.
Advantage, advantage, advantage. See, it's just the way you are habituated, not to moving the lower jaw. Adventure, adventure, adventure.
Adventure, adventure, adventure.
So this kind of, just in a few days, you'll find that the lower jaw will start moving.
We're starting with
AC and AD. Hilda.
The professor of biological medicine self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
3 times. Self-satisfaction, self-satisfaction, self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction, self-satisfaction, self-satisfaction.
Was it faction or faction?
faction.
Action.
Oh,
Action.
correct.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
Neeraj.
The professor of biological medicine's self-satisfaction aroused his audience to incomparable skepticism.
Incomparable skepticism. Incomparable skepticism.
Incomparable skepticism.
You need to go slow.
The next one is arithmetical problems differ from those of differential calculus which deals with variable quantities. I am not a science or a math student, so I don't know the truth of this statement. But what I do know is it is not very easy to pronounce. That is why it is here, part of this exercise. With a deep breath.
Arithmetical problems differ from those of differential calculus which deals with variable quantities.
Neeraj.
Arithmetical problems differ from those of differential calculus which deals with variable quantities.
Now I heard arithmetical. It's arithmetical.
Arithmetical.
Metical.
T.